Well, Australia's Consumer Price Index figures for the December quarter will be released today. Headline inflation is expected to increase to 7.5% year on year. That's up from 7.3% in the September quarter. That would be the highest since 1990. The trimmed mean is tipped to come in at 6.5%, up from 6.1% in the previous quarter. Economists expect the figures to result in further interest rate rises from the RBA. And joining us now is the Executive Chairman of Yellow Brick Road Home Loans, Mark Bouris. So, Mark, good morning to you. We spoke about this last week and where the RBA might be heading when it meets first in February. So there's going to be a lot of attention placed on today's figures. Have you changed your view at all on when it comes to raising or keeping the interest rate figures where they are?
Well, subject to what comes out today, actually.
Yeah.
And some of the commentators like Craig James and Shane Oliver, etc., are now saying they're expecting, if it is a 7.5% read, off the back of our last 7.3, 7.1 read, then they don't expect a rate rise come February, first meeting in February, next Tuesday in February. But there have been some significant rises in certain areas which are affecting which are creating this number, and we're talking about food and Australians' propensity to buy food. So we're actually seeing some very big food inflation numbers, which are having a big effect on the overall inflation number. So, and the other one is rents. Rents are starting to abate, but at the same time, rents are really eating into people's pockets. So I think my gut feeling is right now, and the markets are saying this, there will be a 0.25% rate rise in either February or March. So they might stall in February and wait to March, or they might do it in February and stall for the rest of the year based on what the current data is showing. But expect one more rate rise.
Okay. Now let's go to housing now. CoreLogic indicating that dwelling values have fallen across 80% of Australian homes and unit submarkets in the December quarter. Do you think it's going to go much further than that?
Yeah, I do. So then the reason I say this, and a lot of people are supporting this, is because the rate rises to date haven't actually taken full effect. So, and we also need to get over that Christmas spend period where everybody's coming back with credit card debt and holiday debt, etc. So I expect come February, March, April, May, right through to the second half of this year, I'm expecting a further fall across all the categories. So there's about 4,000 sub-unit categories in housing across Australia. That includes apartments and homes, dwellings, single dwellings. So I'm expecting to see that 80% number. It's nearly 81% actually, Pete. So I'm expecting that to go up to 90%. So I'm saying 90% of all unit dwelling sub-units across Australia will experience further price reductions between here and the end of June.
Yeah, I have to say I choked on my Weet-Bix this morning when I was reading about the RBA governor telling Australians to accept a pay cut to do their bit to help control inflation. How did you react to that?
Well, my reaction to that, Peter, is this, and if I could go back a year, he was saying something equally as ridiculous, that he doesn't expect interest rate rises to, start into 2024. So my response to this is that the RBA governor, whoever is advising him, whoever's giving him his PR and giving him his talking notes, is not doing a very good job. Yeah. It just shows he's out of touch. Dude, you're on $1 million a year plus. You've got people out there who haven't had a pay rise forever, who are never going to see $1 million a year in their life, yet you are jamming them with all these rate rises, 8 rate rises so far, maybe one more. Where's the sensibility to all this? And work it out. I mean, look, economically what he says is correct in economic policy sense and in technical economic sense. But man, shut up. Don't say anything, okay? Yeah. Just leave it off the table.
Yeah, and not to mention leading people to take on huge amounts of debt because the cash rate was supposedly going to stay at 0.1% until 2024. Sound like a broken record when it comes to that anyway. Yeah, you're right, out of touch completely with a lot of community, and that's a hefty pay packet to receive to the RBA governor. Thanks, Mark. Talk to you next week.